Okay, so today we're going to go over how to pack your violin so that you can get it to its destination safely and easily. It's really pretty easy to do. There's just a couple of things to remember. First of all, you've got the violin and the case. Most cases are going to be pretty similar, some variation on this case. Most cases will have this little strap around the neck. Some cases will have that, some won't. I like to start out by taking a piece of bubble wrap and wrapping it around the scroll like this. And what this does is it helps to pad the scroll so that if the violin does take a little bump or a jolt or something, it does help to kind of protect the neck. Because what the bubble wrap does is it kind of adds a little cushioning down here and sort of softens the impact to the neck should it take a little bump or anything. So once that's done, I like to secure this strap, and then the next thing would be a little piece of foam wrapping material or foam padding. I would say cut this to maybe about 4 inches by 1.5 inches wide or so. And then this will just go underneath the tail piece here and just wrap it around the top like that, and then secure that with a piece of tape. And then the next step would be taking a little piece of, I use foam blocks that I actually cut the size to go underneath the strings on either side of the bridge. If you don't have any little foam blocks, you could use something like paper towel, wad it up to the appropriate thickness. You just want it to be nice and snug underneath the strings. In hotter weather, I do like to put a piece of wax paper underneath these foam blocks to help keep them from imprinting the varnish, just because the varnish can tend to get a little bit soft if it gets hot. So one block under this side of the bridge and then another block under the other side of the bridge, just like that. Now in colder months, having the piece of wax paper under there isn't as important, just because you don't have the issue of the varnish being soft like that. So once the violin is in the case like this, then you just want to check to make sure that it's snug in the case. If your violin is a little bit small for your case, you might want to add some little foam blocks or some kind of something like a foam block, paper towel or something to just take up that space so that the violin doesn't shift or move in the case. Then once that's done, what I like to do is take a little piece of bubble wrap and roll it into a tube like this. The width of this tube will vary a little bit depending on how deep the lid of your case is. Basically, you just want it to be about the same width as the depth of the lid of the case. And this will just go down here at the bottom of the case towards the bottom of the instrument. And what this does is when you close it, it will lay down on the top of the instrument. You don't want it to be too thick. You still want the case to close easily, but it's okay if there's just a little bit of spring there. Now, if you don't have this strap at the neck on your case, I would recommend doing another little roll of bubble wrap here so that it's secured at the neck and down here at the bottom. And this will keep the instrument from hitting the top of the case and potentially damaging the instrument. So once that's done, you just want to close your case. Make sure that the latch is closed, and then if it has zippers, be sure and zip up both sides, like so. And then what I like to do is this will be going into a box. And the box that you use, you want it to be a little bit larger than the case that you have. I would say typically you want about 2 or 3 inches of buffer zone around the case when it's in the box. So I start out by putting some peanuts in the bottom of the box so that the case isn't right on the bottom of the box. There's a little bit of cushion there. And then the case just goes into the box. And once you get it sort of centered in the box, then just fill up the remaining space with your peanuts all the way to the top so that there's no extra space for the case to shift around in the box. Then once it's in the box and your peanuts are all in, you just want to close your box up like so. And then you'll tape your box shut on all 3 sides like that. The other thing I would like to mention at this juncture is that whatever reason you're sending your violin to us, whether it's a rental or for repairs, just be sure to include a note with your contact information, a good daytime phone number, and any other information that you might find pertinent to us in terms of what sort of repair work you're looking for or if it's a rental return. So that's about it for packing a violin.